Hi, I'm gonna present my symposium for today. So first of all, a little bit about myself. I'm Angela. I'm studying a bachelor's degree in business strategy and transformation at Mexico at ITESM. I'm pretending to get the Global Business and Entrepreneurship Certificate. And for this project, I decided to make a research paper. So the title of my paper is How COVID-19 has affected the entrepreneurship trends and attitudes in Mexico and in the States. So I decided mainly to use this topic because the pandemic was something that affected each country in the world. So it seems really interesting to me to define and determine how the companies and the business changed with it, especially in the States, because here's where I'm living this semester, and in Mexico because, well, it's my home country. So I have been living there for since I was a little kid. So I wanted to know more about um, how did both countries were able to overcome the situation with help of the innovation and the entrepreneurship. Um, so the format I decided to use was a paper because I consider myself better writing than speaking. I really like to be able to have my own time to think about the things I'm gonna say, or in this case, I'm gonna write, and to do more research and readings and especially notes about the important information I found in my research. And I also consider important to make some changes or improvements on the paper. So that's why I rather writing than speaking. Um, so to design this paper, I followed like a process. First of all, I made some interviews. I made with friends, professors, and family members, especially to get a better idea of the issue that I was gonna talk about. I talked with Mexican and American persons, so I gathered some interesting opinions from them to make my research more complete. Second of all, I made a like a research in different topics, and I made it from qualitative and quantitative information in some web pages. Um, then I identified some challenges. One of them was that it was a lot of information about COVID-19. So sometimes it was a little bit overwhelming and it was difficult to define which information was true or which wasn't, or what data I wanted to use and what wasn't that worth it. So at the end, I had to do many important decisions about what to write and what to ignore. Um, oh, sorry. Then the methods was to choose the best information and try to validate it, all the data, at least with two different sources. So that way I made myself sure that I was writing something that was true. So the final result, I'm very happy with it. I am already done with the paper, and I think it's really nice and easy to read. Um, I gather really important data and information from both countries, and I also learned a lot about new technologies and new startups that are working in both Mexico and the States. Well, at first I was afraid that I wouldn't find that many information from from the web or from interviews, but I found out a lot of it, so I'm really happy about that. Um, yeah, so there are a lot of sources to talk about this topic and the business in general. Um, then my learnings are that there's a really strong connection between business and the economic environment. So I learned that entrepreneurship and the startups were an important fact to help the economy keep going in Mexico and the States. And that COVID-19 changed the way business are made, especially uh, it, it became more technological since the pandemic. So everything changed from work meetings to the way we take care of ourselves, like our bodies, our minds. And it's not the same to go to a hospital and see a doctor face to face. So nowadays you can just uh, create a Zoom meeting and be like, take care of yourselves. Um, then I have my educational goals. So I could say that this project helped me to learn how to identify relevant information sources and data of interest. I also was able to practice speaking and writing with many people from all around the world, like in my interviews. And I also was able to conduct in-depth research in orderly and logical manner. I really liked that this project was in my own time, so I had the freedom to choose when I wanted to work and when I had the chance to. So that was helpful. Um, well, at the finally, I want to read a direct quotation from my project, and it says that entrepreneurs contribute to solve multiple problems in different industries affected by the pandemic and generating employment and welfare for the communities. And this impact of the startups has reached such a level that British investment managers holders rebuilding its money return last December 2019 projects will be crucial for the recovery of the post-pandemic economy. That will be it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice job.
Angela, thank you for your fantastic presentation. I wanted to open it up to everyone else. Do you have any questions for Angela?
Sure. Would you want to tell us a little bit about those interviews, what that was like? What was it like for you to interview people, and who did you talk with, and so on?
Oh, yeah. So I spoke with some friends and also family members. I wanted them to tell me about the real situation especially in the States, because I mean, this is my first semester living here, so I wasn't sure about how was the situation about COVID and how it changed with the business environment. So I approached them and started talking about what were the main changes they see like in the past years. And most of them were focusing on the technological aspect, like nowadays they're working from their homes, or yeah, I mean, you can do everything from your homes. If you have Wi-Fi, that's the only thing you need. So that was the main like um, fact that I received from the interview.
Thank you.
Angela, I have a question related to working from home and how that changed so dramatically during COVID and since then. Does your paper and your research dive into that topic at all and how that has evolved over the past couple of years?
Yeah, so I divide I say in 4 topics. One was environment, the second was politics, also healthcare and education. So, for example, in the education, that's where I talked the most about the Zoom meetings and all the how does the kids or like people learn different nowadays. So you can, as we're doing right now, we can have a presentation or a final exam online. So that was the aspect where I talked more about meetings and the different ways to communicate nowadays, like related to work or education. And yeah, so I also focus on the topic of Zoom. Like it was an industry and a project that before pandemic wasn't having too many revenues, but after pandemic it was huge.
Terrific, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Angela, thank you for your research and sharing your presentation. And I wanted to give you kudos for the presentation format. Was that created through Prezi?
It was through Canva.
Through Canva. Well done. I
Yeah.
really like it. Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.